Oh god, I cannot see RJ's. I think it might be better on like if I had this in full screen. But yeah, it's hard to see the labels. You might have to like read them out, RJ.
Okay. I
So this is
I
date
can read
ideas,
them
right?
out.
Yeah, just start from
Yeah,
left to right so we have like a baseline.
left to right. First one. First one, worst one.
Wait,
Is
introduce the segment.
Oh
It is
yeah.
date
oh,
ideas.
this is date ideas tier list. Specifically first date ideas
Okay.
tier list. And yeah, we're just gonna be rating these. How good would these be for a first date?
All right.
First one, worst one. Shopping mall.
Shopping
Oh,
mall.
me and April go to malls a lot actually. Still,
Really?
yeah, maybe it's like nostalgia or whatever. But I like going to the mall.
Nostalgia? I hate
But
malls.
wait,
There's
George,
nothing
George,
to do. There's nothing ever to do there.
Well, we like to shop. We're
can I?
shopaholics.
Okay. Can I posit two things
Yes.
for discussion?
Yes.
One, first date, though,
That's true.
because
Yeah.
that sounds
I
like
forgot about the first part. Yeah, so yeah, that
First
is a
date,
terrible
though.
first date.
because that sounds like a lot of fun to do with
Yeah.
like just go chill with like low stakes, walk around stores with like your partner. I can totally get that. Second of all, I used to live in an area that had a really shitty mall.
Oh, so
and
did we.
there was like it was the only mall around.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
think there's definitely nice malls.
Yeah.
How
Depending on where you
shitty
live.
was your mall? How shitty
I
was
bet
your mall?
ours is shittier.
It's closed
Yeah.
now. It's
Ours
that's
is
how
big-
bad it is.
God.
Ours
Maybe
is like
not.
almost closed. Basically,
Yeah.
the only thing that should
There's-
be open is the movie theater.
There's actually been stuff. There's a Planet Fitness in there now. They do pretty good business.
Yeah, but they have an entrance on the outside. It feels like almost it's like it's attached to the mall, but it doesn't feel like, I don't know. It feels
Oh,
like
the
just like
busi-
kind of a gym.
Yeah. The
There's-
businesses on the outside are still technically open, but the
There's,
interior is
like-
all.
There's like a playroom for kids that I go to, and that does seemingly decent business.
Oh, okay. Well,
I go to with my daughter. To be clear, I don't go
No,
there.
that's where he takes first dates.
yeah.
A playroom.
Yeah. He's like, let's have a bounce.
The fucking shoe store is still open.
Damn. That
That's
tracks.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing besides the theater that I think that Spencer's and I think Bed Bath and Beyond.
Can you imagine
Spencer's
working
is
at one of those
unkillable.
stores?
I don't think there's ever been a Spencer's that has
It's
closed.
kept open through sorcery.
Yeah. Can you imagine
No,
working at one of those weird stores in a mall that's like basically dead, but you're like one of the only
It's
stores?
probably extremely chill
Yeah.
and boring as hell.
Yeah, definitely. That
Yeah,
actually, so
but-
I guess mall for a first date I'd call like a C. Maybe even
B.
It's so dependent on the
For
mall.
me, I'd say
Are we?
I mean, there's rarely anything to do at the mall,
Mhm.
right? It's just shopping, like
Well, and the
almost
cafeteria.
yeah, and the cafeteria.
If I say
like
Seaford Cafeteria,
bad
you're gonna get
food.
tilted.
Well, like some malls, like the malls we go to have like attached restaurants that are like legit.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
you can combine it with
Those
eating.
are
Yeah, you do
usually
like
somewhat-
dinner, walk
Those are
around.
usually somewhat. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Go to get like some fancy sweets somewhere, some other small shop.
Yeah, I also love
look at
buying
candles, go
pretzels
to-
at the mall. I love big
Yeah.
soft pretzels.
Pretzels are dope.
So we're
C.
doing the
C for me.
average, right? I'd say
I think C for me.
I'd say low C as well.
I would personally say D. I'd like the
So it's low C tier then, right?
yeah, probably. I think
Well, yeah, we can rate. We can put if we put multiple things in the same tier, we'll bump them all down to the.
Yeah, mall
Yeah.
will be at the far right. We'll see.
So the next one is park. I assume like a walk in a park, something.
I think this is a very dope first date because
Yeah.
you're out in nature, especially if the weather's nice, and it's like a public setting, so like safety concerns with a
Mhm.
first date are kind of I mean all of these are probably going to be public, so that's kind of true of
Yeah.
all of these.
Yeah.
But I really like walks.
I like this.
I
don't
really
know
like
if-
walks, and I really like the outdoors. It gives you time to talk. I think the main weakness here is it doesn't give you a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
if
and I think
conversation
it's-
stalls.
I think it's pretty highly dependent on the park.
And
Right?
and
Oh,
the
kind
weather
of like
too.
kind of like the yeah.
Yeah,
Like you
and
could
the
plan a
weather.
date and then the weather's bad and you have to cancel or
Mm.
Yeah,
reschedule
you
or
can-
whatever. Or
So I think
change what the
this
date is.
I think this is a B tier because it's just not reliable.
I would
Um,
call it low A, I think.
Yeah, low A, high B.
Right, Obi? Your vote?
I can be
Like
convinced.
a good park date would be like an S, but a bad park date would be like a D.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm inclined to rate this. I would have a lot of. I would enjoy a park date a lot just because it's like active outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would like it, but it also I would be concerned that they would not. That whoever I'm going with would not be as into it.
Mm.
I don't know because I mean we all seem to be fine with it, but I don't know how popular the idea is of just going on a park date.
I feel like this walk is sometimes
It's somewhat popular.
well, it's also sometimes used in tandem with like a coffee date. Like I feel like a lot of people
Yeah.
go for a coffee then a
Ooh,
walk.
combo.
Yeah.
Little combo date.
Coffee park combo is good.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
it
A.
was coffee park combo, it'd be an S. The dope. date.
A for me, and then we can adjust. We can move it within
A?
A. or
Yeah, I
maybe
say
up
A
think
for
past-
with-
just park. I'd say A for
So
just
So we'll
park.
go with A.
A for now.
Yeah, I say
I'm mostly gloomier than you two, I guess.
A. Yeah.
Oh no, here's the actual
You don't
Here's
even
my
have pollen
actual least-
allergies.
here's my actual least favorite one. Is the club. I think this is a horrible first date.
It depends.
Maybe not.
It depends.
I don't. This seems like a good place to like. It seems like a decent place to like meet someone, but to like go and like you can't fucking talk at a club.
That's true.
You
That's
can't,
what I was gonna
like-
say. It depends on like if you're just trying to hook up, then like A. But if you actually
Yeah.
want to start a
Hmm.
legitimate relationship with this person, then it's like C or D because you can't talk. You can't.
I
You
think
can't learn about the person.
Yeah, you can't have a conversation. You can't actually exchange thoughts that well.
Yeah.
As far as activities go, if you both are into like the club scene and like dancing, I think it's a
Yeah.
very fun activity to do. And then kind of like what George was saying with the park, if
That's
you
true.
combo it with something else,
Yeah, dinner. Then the
if you
club.
build it, you build in time to actually talk to each other,
Yeah.
doing something else.
Yeah, dinner plus club is very good.
or
I
you
feel
just
like.
or you just go home and have sex.
Yeah, you bone.
Yeah, and you can
bone
talk during
down.
that time.
Yeah.
You can
Uh-huh.
ask them about their favorite movies
Yeah.
while doing that.
I
What's
do.
your favorite dinosaur?
I-
As you're
have you
fucking
seen-
doing the nasty.
I might be. This is kind of a hot take. I don't like having a conversation during sex.
Yeah, no.
I exclusively talk about my favorite dinosaur.
Even when you're masturbating.
The really cool thing about Ankylosaurus.
Well, yeah, but I don't have to talk about. I don't have to say that out loud. So I just
That's
think
true. That's true.
Uh-huh.
Unless it's never mind. Moving on. Move on.
It. Well, hold on. C.
C?
Maybe I'm biased. It probably should be B. I don't think I don't like clubs. Maybe
Yeah.
it should be higher than C. If you
If-
both like it, then if you both like clubs enough to go to clubs, it's probably a B.
I'm just gonna
you-
simplify this and assume we're talking about dates with a person that we want a serious relationship with, and then if that's the case, I'm gonna say D.
D.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If that gets average to C, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, low C
Yeah,
again.
I think I would say C as well. I
It
I
should
think I would
be-
say
it should be
C. I would say C to account for people who are
Like
both
clubs.
like clubs and like dancing
Yeah.
especially, and not just like the clubbing scene.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
I think it should be higher
because I
C
think
though.
a lot of that is
Like
Then
still,
think
mall.
higher than shopping mall.
yeah, still low if we have more in C, but higher than shopping mall.
Mall is safer, but I think if you both like clubs, you're going to have more fun at a club than if you
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
like shopping malls.
Yeah.
Shopping mall is just gonna be boring no matter what.
Mhm.
It's
unless you're loaded and you can
or your
Yeah,
mall
you're-
is dope.
yeah,
yeah, or your mall is
both.
dope.
Preferably
both.
both.
Usually,
Preferably both.
preferably both.
Yeah.
Like, I've yet to be to a mall that's terribly enjoyable
Have you
to
been to Great Lakes
be in
Crossing?
if I don't have if I don't really have a budget.
Have you been to Great Lakes Crossing? Well, I guess you still need
Maybe,
a
maybe
budget.
not.
It's like Michigan's answer to Mall of America. It's our biggest mall.
Probably not. Then.
It's only one story though, but it's very wide.
Is that the one with the carousel in it?
I think so.
Ugh, only one story.
No,
I've been to
maybe?
I've been
Peasant
to one
mall.
with the carousel in it.
Actually, I don't
believe
remember
it
the
also has a
carousel.
rainforest cafe.
It does
Oh, I
have a
love
Rainforest
Rainforest
Cafe.
Cafe.
It does have a rain.
And,
Yeah, it's
and
the
like an
only
aquarium.
Yeah,
like a little
yeah,
aquarium.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
yeah.
I love that. That's the one we go to a lot. I love that mall.
RJ, I don't see
Oh,
Rainforest
it's okay.
Cafe on here on this list. What's up with that?
What is
it's
the next
included
one?
in shopping mall. The next one is kind of like Rainforest Cafe. It's the zoo.
Oh, me and April do this all the time too. I love the zoo for a date. I love animals. Animals are dope. Animals are way better than humans. The biggest problem with the zoo is that there's too many humans there. I want like a private zoo.
I
Hmm.
the zoo I find
It's also
I really honestly if I was going on a date I'd like to have
it's like a walk but better because it's outside. You get steps,
Yeah.
but there's stuff to talk about because there's animals.
Yeah,
to talk about.
that's
There's
true.
more content to talk about. There's more substance, and it has the same bonuses that a park does. But there's also a couple more barriers with like crowds.
Yeah, the biggest thing is the crowd.
Working
that's
around the
knocking it down for
hours.
me.
Yeah.
Once
Crowds
again,
are
same
the
thing
same.
dealing with weather and whatnot that parks have.
Dealing with weather, dealing with food, I think. Like
Oh,
with the
yeah.
park,
Zoo
with
food
the
kinda
park you
sucks.
can
Oh.
get food. You can get food at a
For
place that
cheap,
like
yeah.
does anywhere.
But you're
Whereas,
trapped, so they
Like, whereas
you pay
a
a
zoo,
premium.
you have to pay like $15 for dog shit food.
yeah,
It's
you have to-
literally the worst food you've ever eaten in
it's
your
like
entire life.
it's
For
why
dog
I,
food.
it's why I don't go to theme parks or like and why I
Yeah.
hate being in the airport is because like you pay like that
You're
you're trapped
trapped.
here, so that's a premium. Like
It's also
price.
like
George just lifts
feel
up his
like
shirt
zoo-
and a bunch
I
of
feel
power
like
bars
zoos
fall out.
generally.
yeah.
I feel like zoos generally have like a dearth of like pleasant places to sit.
That's true. Yeah,
Um,
you guys are talking me out of it. I was gonna call this S, but then forgot about the crowds and the price.
yeah.
Here's the
Probably-
thing.
probably
A nice zoo experience beats a park every time.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
It's not always going to be
I
that way.
think I've
Higher
been
than
to
park, but probably also A for me. But wait, hold on. I'm forgetting first date.
Yeah.
Does that influence it at all?
I think if anything that makes
No.
it better because there's
Maybe
stuff
a
to talk
second or
about.
third. Oh, you think? Do you want to be like sure that you kind of like the person somewhat already?
Yeah, the other thing, yeah, it's kind of a commitment. It's like a day trip, kind of.
Yeah, it's a whole day.
Yeah.
It's a
I'll
whole
say
thing.
B. I'll say B.
B.
I'm gonna say
yeah, I think
A.
so as well.
A maybe under park then because it's not. You can't bail as easily if it's not good.
Yeah.
I
you
think
don't like the
B.
Yeah. So I think it averages out to
High B?
High B. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Damn.
And
doing zoo's
also
dirty.
zoos
But
zoos
understandable.
tend to be I don't know.
Too crowded.
There's also just so much concrete and
Yeah.
like for me just just being in a place I'd rather be in a park than in a zoo.
Mm-mm. I prefer to be in a zoo, assuming the crowd isn't too bad. If the crowd was
Yeah.
bad, I'd rather be in a park.
Hmm.
But you kind of have to know that ahead of time.
Yeah.
It's annoying. You're gambling with a zoo is the thing.
Yeah.
Dude, do you know how have you guys ever been to you guys have been to DC, right?
Once.
No,
Did you guys go to like the parks and some of the museums and like specifically the zoo?
Never
a
been
lot
to
of like
DC.
the
I don't
a
think
lot of
we
the
ever
Smi-
went to the zoo.
a lot of this because the zoo's owned by the Smithsonian, so a lot of
Uh-huh.
Smithsonian like establishments are like open to the public. So the zoo in DC is actually free year round.
Oh, that's
Oh,
dope.
awesome.
So you could use that. You could basically just have like a dope ass park that you can just go to whenever you want.
There's a free aquarium on that.
The Smithsonian Rex.
It's so good.
It's so good.
There's a free aquarium. It's very small, but on the island near Detroit, or kind of it's in Detroit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's literally like one. It's like rather large room, but it's like one room. You just
Oh.
kind of walk through.
There's
But-
also
so
a
cool,
free,
though.
there's also a free aquarium in the Cabela's in Dundee.
It's the same
Where?
Dundee, Michigan. There's a Cabela's and they have fish. But there's it's the same
Wait, I don't
place.
understand.
Wait. It's the
There's-
same. Wait. It's the same place where there was the viral video or the viral thing that happened a couple months ago, where like they had shut down that big metal slide because it was too dangerous. Like people would fly off it and slam down, and then they reopened it for like a week or like a day, and people were still flying off of it and slamming down. So they reclosed it like immediately after they reopened it, basically.
Mhm.
What is the location? I don't know if I know what this is.
There's an island. I thought RJ would just know it instantly and be like, "Oh, it's that."
No, I know what you're talking. I've never been there. I know what you're talking about now.
No, not the aquarium. The
Belle
what
Isle.
is this?
Belle Isle.
Belle Isle.
The
Yeah.
island is called Belle Isle. It's on the.
Or are you
Detroit
talking
River.
about Cabela's?
What's Cabela's?
You don't know what
It's a
Cabela's
hunting
is?
store.
Yeah, it's a hunting
It's a
store.
Not-
it's a hunting store.
Oh,
Cabela's.
okay. Is it like Bass Pro Shop kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
same
It's like
exact
Bass Pro
shit.
Shop.
It's the same shit.
Okay.
Yeah. They have a surprisingly decent like it's just like filled with like I think
RJ, why isn't that on the list?
local
My
Why isn't
Cabela's-
Bass Pro Shop on the first date list?
I didn't make this list.
my family
I
came from
found it.
England recently, and one of the things they did was go to that Cabela's in Dundee.
Yeah. That's pretty nice.
It's like a tourist attraction here.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, next date. Movie sucks for a first date. It's D.
Movies.
D. It's trash. You can't talk.
Yeah.
You can only make
Combo.
out.
Combo possibly, but on
You
its
can
own,
you
not
have
good.
something
Yeah,
it,
be
it
good
gives
as a
you something
combo.
to talk about
Not on its own, not
afterward.
good.
Or you could go to watch like a screening of something. You could go to watch a screening of something that like The Room or something like that, where it's like generally agreed upon that like everyone's like audibly making fun of the movie for the whole thing.
I've never done.
Is that what people did when they watched The Room?
That
Like in
there-
theaters?
there-
I've never heard
maybe
of that.
not when it came out, but like
Oh, okay.
they're like current screenings of The Room now, where it's like kind of wild.
It's more of an experience.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Interesting. But yeah, I like one of the one I have only had a handful of first dates. But one of the ones I did have was in a movie theater, and it was mediocre. I will say
Yeah.
if you're doing it, do a horror movie because it gives an excuse to kind of like for some touchy cuddly stuff, because
Mhm.
people might get scared and then they're like and then you cuddle up or whatever.
I will. Yeah. The younger you are, I think the more acceptable it is to have movie theater be a first date,
Yes, that's another
Yeah.
good point. Yeah.
because budget is also
I
a
don't-
concern, and there's also
Yeah.
defined
Yeah.
end time if you have schedules
Yeah.
you need to plan around.
Yeah, or like if
But
you're
yeah,
really
not-
young and you're getting dropped off, it's easy.
Yeah,
It's
that's-
easy to schedule the getting. Oh, that's what you were
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you're not under your own transportation power. Yeah,
Mhm.
but still not great.
not great. I'd say D.
Understandable why it definitely deserves to be on the list as an option, but yeah, not good.
hmm
Hey, D isn't failing. You didn't get an F. D is
You didn't
still
get
an
an F.
option.
You think D as well?
I'm saying D.
Yeah, probably
See,
D.
I would like a movie theater date more than a club or shopping mall date.
You can.
Ooh,
I feel like you
but
can.
I
you can
think that's too
talk.
much of my.
You can talk easier, even at a club, because you can go to the bar where the music isn't as loud and like while you're getting drinks, like chat.
Mhm.
And then there's more touching. I guess because I'm an adult, like I would rather go on a first club where I can grind on someone than where I'm just sitting like this looking at a movie. That's just
No,
the
you
whole
can grind
dog
on somebody in a movie
The thing-
theater
The thing,
if
I
you
think,
have no, if you're determined.
I've done
the thing-
stuff. I've
You don't have to. You can go into as much or as little detail as you want, bud.
I think
I've
think a
done
movie
stuff in a
theater.
movie theater. I'll leave it
I
at
think
that.
a movie theater date needs to be paired with some kind of amount of talking time after the movie, where you can at least talk about the movie.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if I'll put it in D because if you're just going to the movie and that's it, dog shit. It's
Yeah.
garbage.
Garbo.
D for dog shit.
Yeah.
Like I guess you could, even if you're an adult and like say you drive the person back, then you can talk about it on the way back. But that's usually going to be like like 15 minutes of talking for like a 3-hour date or 2-hour date or whatever.
Bowling. Now,
This is great. I love bowling.
this is I also really love bowling. I've never done like a bowling date. I've gone on
I've
almost
gone on
like
double dates. But
yeah,
not
almost
date
like double dates. Bowling is god tier for double dates.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Because it's both something to do and as long as there's more than just you two playing,
Mhm.
you'll have
It's not-
regular amount of
it's-
downtime where it's you
Yeah,
where
it's
you're
not
Yeah,
like
you're
it kind
together.
of sucks
sit
for
down
two
and then they
people
stand
because
up.
you're
Yeah.
always one of you's
Yeah.
always bowling. Yeah, I think
I think
Fair
for
point, dude.
I think this
yeah.
might be high C or something because of that.
High
fact.
C.
Because if we're just talking about one-on-one first dates, then it's then
You
like
could
you
do
said, you
double
can't talk.
dates.
No,
for a
you're right.
first
First date. First
You
date.
I
can
would-
do a
I would
double
not-
date for a
No,
first date,
haven't you
but
seen
yeah,
the
I would
Springfield
say-
episode? You never double date on the first date.
No, I've never seen the Springfield episode.
Or Seinfeld, sorry. But I was actually
Seinfeld
I'm not even
episode.
thinking of Seinfeld. I'm thinking of the College Humor video making fun of Seinfeld.
Oh.
You never first date on the double date. So yeah, I would
I
say
think this is a good date idea, and I definitely think you have a valid point of more people is better. But
Yeah,
first
and
date though.
I think
Yeah,
first
date's
date
rough.
first date solo
first
date
date is pretty
high C for me.
yeah,
Top of C.
Top of C.
top of C. Yeah, it's definitely not as good as Zoo. For
No.
I think it's a
But
it's a
better than
tier
Club.
under Zoo.
I'd rather
It's
do
better
it than
than
But
Club.
it's better than Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more opportunity for interaction than club. It's lower. It's not as stressful. That's honest. Maybe that's personal bias coming in. Of that, I personally
The
am not
food-
a clubber.
Yeah.
Interestingly,
if competition
you're a
stresses you
captive,
out,
you're a
then-
captive audience, but the food is usually half decent and not that expensive.
The food is
Yeah.
about as
Like,
good as you get at a
Compared to
club.
like compared to like a zoo
Club
where the food is very extensive and also awful.
That reminds me of like how there's like some strip clubs with like a buffet. Like you got to be a
Mhm.
gambler to eat there, right? Like that seems
Yeah.
that seems like they'd have the lowest like health and safety
No,
protocols.
nobody. You're the only one eating there. It's
Oh,
it's
that's
actually
true.
the mega mind play.
I just remember the scene where Nick Offerman's character in Parks and Rec is just like going to town on the strip club breakfast buffet.
Coffee date.
Breakfast buffet.
S tier. For first date, this is S
S-tier?
tier.
Oh,
Especially if you-
it's
I know we're not
My
doing
worry-
combos, but if you
This is like
combo
the
this with a walk,
classic.
it's S tier.
this is the classic.
My worry is coffee's is coffee's lack of activity.
Well, that's
lack of-
kind of what you want for a first date, especially in the high speed dating world of Tinder and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You want to be able to have a quick out if the person sucks. I feel like.
I will say coffee is great. There's quickest out so far and
Mhm.
and I know what the rest coming up are quickest out period.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the quickest step
absolutely.
because you drink the
It could
coffee and then
be-
you're like, I got to shit, and then you leave.
yeah, yeah.
There's,
they
there's-
know 'cause it's
there's
coffee.
no obligation. You could just like you could also not make an excuse and just leave, but like
And it's super easy
and-
to combo, like
and
we were
it's
talking about before. You can easily
it's
just
super
roll it into
easy
a
to
walk.
pop.
Yeah.
It's super easy to combo because it's super easy to leave a coffee shop. It's just a shop.
Yeah.
It like it's usually you usually don't have to drive far to find one compared to like a mall. Like
Yeah,
dude,
you'll have to drive for
a
like
lot
20
of
minutes.
a lot of people you'll have to go out of your way to get to a mall,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is like which makes it a hassle leaving.
Mhm.
Coffee. There's also a minuscule monetary buy-in for coffee, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
low cost barrier.
Yeah.
Very low cost
You're
barrier.
convincing me more and more. This is S.
Yeah.
This is S.
I think coffee is S.
This is S, and this is coming from somebody who doesn't drink coffee and has to kind of scramble.
But
Yeah.
that's the thing.
to
They
find
usually
something
have
else to
like
drink.
like some
there's
fruit,
other stuff I can-
lemonade.
And also coffee shops tend to be a really inviting place to like really tend to be like inviting to like talk in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's like a good vibe to most coffee shops, assuming they're not
Yeah.
like LA coffee shops where it's like you cannot find a fucking seat and I want to get out
Yeah.
of them immediately.
Yeah.
Could I don't know what the other three are, but I would say brewery for me is in the same tier as coffee shop. It's the same vibe. It's just different drinks.
I
And a
think
different
coffee-
time, different
I
time
think-
of day.
Oh, which
It's like
is
the same. To me,
better?
it's the same thing. What do you think?
Well, I don't drink.
Prefer,
I
I
wouldn't-
prefer a coffee shop because I don't drink.
Yeah, I don't drink, so that's the only thing.
I
Like
also
beer
think. I
or-
also think.
I just
also
don't drink
think
alcohol. I mean, I very
have-
rarely do.
I have a greater affinity for caffeine as well.
Yeah, I
than
prefer
alcohol. Like
caffeine
I know
over alcohol.
there's a lot of people who will be able to loosen up with alcohol. I don't think I loosen up that much.
Yeah, I just get more anxious. I
Okay.
feel like.
But like,
What do you
uh,
think about the same vibe, sharing the same vibe?
I do
Do you agree
agree.
on that at least?
Yeah,
it is a
agree.
similar vibe.
I agree that it would be good for a lot of people, but if I'm rating this for me personally, I would give
Mhm.
this like I'd still do it because I can drink. It's not like it's like a religious thing or something.
Mhm.
So I'd probably give this a low B, better than bowling for a one-on-one date, but
Mhm.
worse than a zoo.
For the thing we're not for the thing that we don't have a picture for, this is brewery. Low
I'm
B.
yeah, I'm saying I'm equating it as like it is coffee
think-
shop night theme.
I see.
Yeah. I think it would be. I think it's A.
Is this
I
like the
wouldn't
same
say
thing
it's
as like a
as good
bar
as
date?
coffee shop.
I assume.
No.
No, I
I think a bar has different vibes, honestly.
yeah, bar has different vibes.
Interesting. I feel like a brewery and a bar have a very similar
a bar,
vibe.
a
but-
bar, you can probably find a bar with good vibes. Just
Yeah,
like one with like a
Yeah,
fucking,
you could. No, you're right. You could.
like a
'Cause they're-
like a beer garden. Oh my god!
Mm.
Yeah,
fucking,
like a beer.
fucking
That's what I was
premium
thinking of.
vibes.
Like we used to go to this place. I used to go to this place with my parents in LA. That was basically like a beer garden, and it was technically a bar. But
Yeah.
I feel like you can have There's two types of bars. There are bars that are like sisters to clubs, and then there are bars that are like
Bars
sisters to brewery
Coffee shops.
or
Yeah.
coffee shops or whatever.
Yeah, bars vibes can vary a lot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And that's a thing with like breweries and like the good bars and coffee shops is that like a lot of them have outdoor seating as well.
yeah, I love
which
the
is
outdoor
nice.
seating vibe.
We love being outside.
Next one is one of my
wait.
favorites.
Wait, do we all vote on the actual rating for this?
Oh, I
we
think
said S. We didn't have to make a whole
is the next
I,
one
I
not
agree with
brewery?
that.
Is
No,
it-
I was
brewery is
saying-
a
Oh.
I was saying
Ryobi
coffee
just
shop
brought
made
it
me
up.
think of brewery.
I see.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Sorry, I
Brewery
got
is
so
not on
confused
here.
because I can't read the labels, so I thought that next
Oh,
one was brewery.
No, this next one is museum. One of my favorites.
Ooh, yeah, that's a
Hmm.
very good.
I will say, I think as a first date, I think there is an issue where museums are somewhat like libraries, where
Conversation is
They're-
not always encouraged,
yes,
depending on the museum.
But you talk in museum. It's not like libraries. It's more
Yeah,
like
I've never heard anyone be like, "Hey, keep the noise down in a museum." But just going in there, it's very quiet. You feel like you
Yeah.
should be whispering.
It's a little bit of pressure.
I always talk in museums with April. Maybe we're
Yeah.
like the obnoxious couple that everyone wants to leave.
It also depends. It also depends on the museum. Like the DIA is busy enough.
That everyone's talking and you.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that everyone's talking. You can talk. The DIA is fantastic.
Yeah, I love the
It also,
DIA.
it's like it like good food in it
Yeah,
as well. I think. I don't
DIA
know.
slaps.
Certainly a good vibes to the like available food.
I think it's low S high A maybe.
It's got the indoor aspect going for it. It's like an indoor walk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
indoor
like an indoor
walk, stuff
park
to
walk.
talk about.
Stuff to talk
Yeah,
about.
there's tons of stuff to talk about.
Pretty chill vibe. There is a cost barrier, but it's not that high.
And some
depending on
museums
where
are
you go.
free.
I
Some
think
museums are free.
I think S because
Smithsonian, shout out.
like coffee it has one small drawback. Like coffee has one small drawback.
Nowhere to fuck.
No. No, actually,
Bump
no.
park up because there's everywhere to
The
fuck.
other
Park is
drawback
S
for
tier.
museum,
Yeah.
I think the other drawback for museum
Mm.
is, I think museum can be a little like, I don't think it appeals to as many people, and
Kind of like
there's
clubbing. It's good for people who like it, but it can bore people who don't.
there's a
share
time
the
penalty. There's a duck out kind of time penalty for a museum. It's
Hmm.
hard to
Hard to cut it off early.
yeah, it's hard to cut it off early, I think.
Yeah, because you want to see everything.
Yeah, and you have to go way out of your way
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
kind of like the zoo in that
usually to
regard.
get to like, especially to get a lot of people will have to go way out of the way to get to any museum at all, much less a good one.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna bump it down to A. What do you think of that? Above Park
well-
though?
I would call it high A, low S, so that works for me.
Yeah.
I think top of A.
Yeah,
That's
top
fine.
A. Top A.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, harder to
Um,
dip if you're not having a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't really be like 50 minutes in. Oh, well, you're kind of boring,
Yeah.
so I want to leave.
Yeah.
I want to go
Mhm.
see the statues. I don't want to look at the paintings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just
Statues are so much
leave
better.
and you just leave and go somewhere else in the
Is the
museum.
next one
the date's
sailing?
over.
Mm-hmm.
Is the next
No.
one sailing?
The next one is restaurant.
Oh, I thought that was water. I thought it was like
No,
Go
it's blue
sailing.
chairs.
Oh, I
It's
see.
blue
I see. I
chairs.
see. Restaurant's
Um,
good. It's kind of
restaurant's
basic,
good.
but it's good.
It's kind of to me. It's kind of
It's like coffee
uh,
shop at worse. I feel like.
Yeah,
I
it's
was about
coffee
to,
shop, but
the exact
worse.
same thing. It's
Yeah.
like
It's a higher
it's just
time
worse.
commitment.
It's worse
a
coffee
higher,
shop.
It's a higher cost commitment.
Yeah. Second or third date. I mean, come
I
on.
think it's
Yes, yes,
it's a
yes.
little
Or combo.
less. It's a little
Yeah,
less
yeah.
talk friendly.
Well,
But
can
just
talk.
a smidge.
Yeah,
you
just
can
a
talk-
smidge, yeah.
You can talk. It's because
have to talk for
you
longer.
don't typically, you're like coffee shop, you're taking drugs that make you that
I mean, you're not wrong.
that force
Awakeness. Awareness.
awareness and like
And bowel movements.
increased thought processing.
Mm,
Whereas like a restaurant, not necessarily.
yeah.
And there's also a huge thing with like, because it's been such a thing, there's like, I feel like there's a kind of an uncertain culture around going to restaurants.
Mhm.
Where it's like who's paying and kind of
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that. And
Yeah.
especially because restaurants can get pricey, whereas like everything else.
Especially as the guy, I feel like you're like, well, should I pay to be polite, or should I not pay because it's sexist or whatever?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a conversation.
I do like restaurant dates though. I think
Yeah, I'm
I-
trying. Is
those
it better or
are-
worse
those
than a zoo?
all of the things we've said were critiques, but I think overall most of the things that are good about a coffee shop are true of restaurants.
Yeah.
True.
Maybe above zoo, because
Yeah, I
I'd-
think
I
high
would
B.
rather-
High B.
I would rather go to a zoo, but I
Yeah.
would rather go to a restaurant date if
You
I
put it
wasn't
as
sure I
low
would
B.
like the
There
person.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just automatically I had
I
to
see, I
move
see.
I had to move zoo to put restaurant up.
All right, last one.
Last one is theme park.
Oh, D. Low D. This is awful.
D?
I fucking hate theme parks. I hate them. I despise them.
Hold on. Set aside personal feelings. Think about it. Like compare it to zoos
Well, no,
and like whatnot.
I'm just rating these how I would rate this as a personal first date, like from my personal perspective. So
Yeah.
it's a D. That's what I've done for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've been I've been being a
think-
little more objective about it.
I think theme park has three big issues.
You're
One,
trapped, so everything's expensive.
crowds.
One, mascots. Two,
Crowds.
crowds.
Lines.
expensive and
Painful sometimes.
huge time commitment. Huge
Time commitment, price, and crowds.
Yeah.
I feel like
Um,
crowds has multiple tiers because there's crowds when you're walking around, which is annoying. But then also, I feel like
Also
lines.
lines.
Lines is its
Yeah.
own thing. It gets its own point against it just for lines.
yeah.
You have time to talk in line, but it's still
Yeah, but I
nobody likes
feel
waiting. Nobody likes
subconscious
waiting in line.
about talking in line too because everyone's so close to you. So I feel like people are eavesdropping and shit. I hate it. I hate amusement parks. I despise them.
You look
I
at
th-
my girl? No, I'm literally just waiting to get on the Batman ride.
Yeah.
Chill.
I think like
And there's so many
you
kids.
can.
There are so many kids at amusement parks.
George, heard
I
it
mean,
here
compared
first.
to
George hates
zoos,
I hate
not
kids.
really.
kids.
Compared to zoos, not really.
Yeah, no, not compared to zoos, but zoos are more interesting.
I think
I don't
they're
have to wait in
they're-
line for an hour and a half to see the gorillas. I just could
Yeah.
walk up and see the gorillas.
You
yeah.
can see over the kids and look at the
Yeah.
gorillas.
You can watch the gorillas sit around and do
And,
fuck all.
and this could just be my bias against theme parks, but I swear kids are more annoying at theme parks. They're like running around and screaming more and I feel like it's older kids at a theme park. Like
yeah.
like young teenagers are more likely to be at a theme park, and I feel like
yeah.
those are the
and
worst
those people are
types
horrible.
of kids.
Those are the worst kind of people.
Yeah.
I think this
I hate young teenagers.
this might be another thing where it's better when you're younger.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I used to
I
like
think
theme
if you're
parks.
young, I think a theme park would be actually really, really good.
I would like
But
theme
isn't it-
parks, but
theme
first
parks-
day is the
theme
is the
parks
kicker.
are theme parks are fun, and the lines mean you'd have a good amount of time to talk to them.
Yes.
But yeah, for a first date, they're so expensive.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
so
big
expensive.
barrier.
It's
Big
a
barrier,
show-
big
it's
time.
it's got the
and
day
it's a
commitment
day
thing.
trip.
Yeah, it's
It's
the
a
day
whole day
commitment.
trip. It
Yeah.
has to be a day trip. Otherwise, if you're going for a half a day, you're
And
riding 3 rides maybe.
and this is dependent on where you live, but whenever I go to an amusement park, it takes an hour and a half to get there.
Yeah.
So it's like it
Yeah.
would be horrible
They're
for a
scarcer.
first
They're
date.
not as
Yeah, and we live relatively near a really good theme park.
Yeah, relatively.
Oh god.
It is in a different
I'm
state,
kind of
but-
near.
Yeah, but like it's in like about like, I mean, you've moved further away, but for me, it's like,
Yeah, I'm a little further away.
yeah, it's what, like a little over an hour.
Yeah, last
I
time we
think-
went to the amusement park, me and April said we're never going to another one again. I don't know if that'll
And
hold true, but I
Oh,
hate
God.
and if you like roller coasters, it's one of the best roller coaster parks.
roller coasters
the
are such
world.
a bad payoff to me. It's like
Yeah,
you wait in an hour in a line, maybe 45 minutes for the good rides on average, and then it lasts like 2 minutes. It's like it's
Yeah.
horrible. It's a horrible ratio of fun to not fun.
especially the thing that's crazy to me especially is the lines for the Top Thrill Dragster,
Oh
which
yeah.
is like the line is always like 150 people long, and the ride lasts for 30 seconds.
Yeah. It's like I think they shut
Or-
it down, didn't they?
Like a minute 10. It's a minute of just the ride going up to the top, and then it's like 5 or 6, like if 5 or 6 seconds actually like on the down part, because that's all it is. It's just the down part. It immediately stops.
Yeah.
There isn't like anything else to it.
I haven't read it because I was too scared of it up until the point where I was like that doesn't look worth the rate. So I never had like a window where I
It's
wasn't
also
scared. of it.
terrifying. It's also
Yeah.
terrifying. Like even if there was no lines, I wouldn't go on it because it's terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know if I
But
would.
also, I don't understand. Maybe it's just like a thrill. Maybe it's a thrill for
Yeah,
those
sheer
thrill seekers.
speed.
It's just unmatched
Yeah.
by any other coaster. But like, yeah, I don't understand people waiting in line for it. It's like, even if I did like it, it's such a short period of time.
Yeah. So you want to go over the whole list in case I end up uploading this for audio?
Where did theme park end up?
Well,
D.
We've voted low D,
Some
but
of D.
what would you vote it, Ryobi?
Yeah, I mean, I think RJ kind of I like theme parks more than you two, it sounds like, but I think it falls under the it's not I don't think it's a good first date category just because I don't think it's a first date idea just because it's
The
not a bad
barriers are
activity.
huge.
I think that,
Yeah.
I think
You
the
nailed it
biggest,
with the first three things
think the-
RJ said.
I think
Yeah.
the biggest barrier. I think the biggest barrier is the sheer expense because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
so expensive.
Expense,
And it's like,
location,
Yeah, look,
yeah,
crowds.
distance, lines, crowds.
yeah.
The food, it's expensive, but the food usually isn't that good either. Except,
Oh,
Yeah.
it
except
sucks.
in
It's
Cedar
zoo,
Point.
It's zoo tier. It's zoo tier.
Except in Cedar Point where there's a Chick-fil-A and
Yeah.
But the line at Chick-fil-A is worse than most of the rides because it's the only good restaurant.
Because it's the only decent food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Sucks.
I remember the one time I went to Cedar Point, I just kept riding. It was like the one like
The gatekeeper?
wooden track that was
Oh.
still around because because it was like the one with the like it had almost no line. So
Yeah.
like yeah, I rode it
Nice.
multiple times.
One time I went to Universal and it was raining in the morning but stopped. And like, you know the Harry Potter ride that usually has like an hour long line that had
No.
oh,
I've
well.
never been.
Well, there's like this Harry Potter ride where it's like mostly in front of a
Yeah.
screen type of a thing, but you're like, you know, you're flying around in this thing and you sort of fly around through Hogwarts or whatever, and it's really
Yeah.
immersive, and the line is too. But usually
The
that
line is really
like
really immersive.
yeah, because at Universal they'll like put stuff
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
line
yeah,
that's
yeah.
where it's like, you know, they'll have, you know, Hermione
But you're
saying a
not
line
just-
or whatever.
You're not just sitting there looking at people have fun while you're waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But,
they make it a
um,
whole experience.
But yeah, we were
Mm.
literally just walking on that. We went on it like 4 times because we just
Yeah.
like there's never not a line for that ride, but that day there was a line.